Hi, this is Heidi from Garden Crossings, and I am at the Northern Michigan Garden, and I wanted to show you we're doing a little transformation here on the front. And included in the transformation not only is putting in a new deck, because the other one had about 6 layers of paint and was absolutely rotting away. So the boys went and tore this all apart this weekend and have it all ready for deck boards once they come. But another thing too with doing this project is the plants were looking a little bit not so great after they got done doing their construction. So Rod went ahead and did a little replanting of this area. And I don't know if you can tell by looking, if you watched the other videos, what's standing out here is different, but I'll tell you, it's the sun patience. So we went ahead and removed all of the Supertunias and we replaced them here with sun patience. And I think that white really looks like a nice pop of color in this area up against the greens. Also, he went through and deadheaded anything that needed to be deadheaded and trimmed back. So that will be really nice for some of those plants that I talked about earlier that were quite leggy. For example, let's go in here. Here's Veronica. Those have all been trimmed back really nicely. We put also a couple pentas in there for the butterflies. There's a lot of butterflies up here. So that's what we've done here on this side of the garden. Over here on this side, we've also removed all the Supertunias, and there's the sun patience that have been poked in there, and that white really pops. So it's not only a great color for in the garden, but at night too, that white glows really nicely. So some of the other plants in here that got trimmed back were the leucanthemums. So up front here was Daisy May, and those have been trimmed back. So we're hoping for a little reflush on both of those, which are on either side of the heuchera. Also, we went in and we planted a Firelight Tidbit last fall. And it was kind of like a lot of the other plants, really stringy looking. So we went ahead and nipped about 1/3 off the top of that. So that will help branch that out a little bit better as well. Here's some more of the salvia that have been trimmed. Also, he went in and trimmed back the phlox, which are here on the either side of the pole. So those he trimmed about in half as well. And then as we come over this way, let me make my way back through this little deck structure here. Also, the Supertunias were removed and replaced with some lobelia. This is a new lobelia for 2022, so we want to see how this does in the garden. Typically, we don't do a lot of planting of lobelia in the ground, so this will be fun to watch and see how it does. Behind it there is some of the pentas, and then behind that is some of the salvia. So that should look really pretty there. Kind of a little bit of a red, white, and blue look when he planted that area. Also here on either side of that little tractor, there was Monarda, and those had been done blooming for a while. So they got trimmed back to about 3 inches or so. So they're gonna be done for the year, and hopefully that will thicken them up a little bit. Now, I am seeing here that he has left a couple of the Supertunias. So this little trio right here is a trio of Supertunias. And if you notice, he's hacked them things way back. So these were about probably 2 foot wide. Now they're only about 6 to 8 inches wide and also that tall. So he's trimmed them really far back because they were really leggy and didn't have a lot of color, and they look kind of not great. So by trimming them back, we'll kind of watch as they reflush out and see how they do. If you have Supertunias and yours are like looking really leggy and kind of just not great, don't be afraid to trim them back because they're gonna reflush out and look nice. Also fertilize. So I'm sure he doused these up with a good amount of fertilizer too to help with them with additional growth. Here's some more Monarda that got trimmed back. And then looks like he did plant a couple new Supertunias here around the pole as well. So those are the Supertunia Mini Vista Hot Pink. So those will look pretty too. So it'll be kind of neat to see we've got those Mini Vistas there along with these Vista Paradise to see how they do. You know, one's in flower now, one's just been trimmed back, to see how they do as they're regrowing out. So I wanted to give you this update here on the Up North Garden because we have done some changes here. And we're real excited to see how this turns out. now that we've got it kind of replanted with some new annuals and done trimming of many of the perennials and shrubs, which they needed that because, like I said, they were really tall and leggy. And you've got one way to bulk the plants up is by trimming them. So that's what we've done here. So hopefully once we do the next video update of this area, the deck will be complete. But until then, this is Heidi from Garden Crossings.